After years of supporting my girlfriend, she changed completely after I came into money. Money turned my girlfriend into someone I didn't recognize, and I had to end it all. Backstory: I met my girlfriend Kylie in community college 7 years ago. We became really close friends and started dating 2 years later. At the time, she wanted to be a nurse, which was great. She was really passionate about it, and I fully supported her. I ended up transferring to a 4-year university and earning my MBA. Kylie supported me emotionally the entire time through school, which I'm grateful for. Kylie's parents ended up cutting her off financially because of her spending habits. She ended up taking a year off to work to help her with her bills. In the meantime, I invested all my savings, time, and energy into a startup platform with my best friend in the automotive industry. Earlier this year we were bought out for a life-changing amount of money. We were both kept on as consultants with a high-paying salary as well. Kylie had kept her job at the jewelry store this entire time. After the buyout, she told me she was handing in her 2 weeks. I offered to pay for her school and expenses. At first she was excited to go back and earn her nursing degree. I ended up purchasing a condo for us to live in, a big step up from our apartment, close to her school. Over the weekend we were talking, and she threw out the fact that she wasn't sure about wanting to go back to school and that she could be a stay-at-home wife. We're not married. I didn't say anything in the moment because I wasn't sure how to respond. Part of what attracted me to her in the first place was her ambition. It just doesn't sit right with me that she quit her job and career goals after I came into money. Her shopping, spending has also gone up. She's been looking at new cars. I could be overreacting, but something just doesn't seem right. I still love her and want it to work out, but I don't like this new side of her I'm seeing. First, I would like to thank everyone for their time and advice. I truly appreciate everyone's input. I had a serious conversation with my girlfriend Kylie about our future Thursday night. I told her that she needed to figure out a plan for the future, whether that meant finding a job or going back to school. I told her if she goes back to school, I would support her financially, including paying for her degree. I told her I would give her until December to figure out her plan. She ended up getting really defensive and told me that she's the reason I'm in the position where I am in life. She said that I should pay for her lifestyle since she was there from the start. Then she proceeded to tell me that she wasted 5 years of her life with me. She told me that she could have been married and had a family by now. I was shocked, because I've never seen that side of her. She was having a complete meltdown. I ended the conversation by telling her I tried my best to make this relationship work, but it won't work like this. Unlike her, I come from a very middle-class family. Both of my parents had jobs and contributed to the house. It was like she was completely a different person. That's when I realized that the money had really changed her. I basically told her that I had a business trip she knew about already, and when I get back on Tuesday, to have all your stuff moved and give a mutual friend I trust the keys. I canceled her credit card the same night. The car she currently drives has $6,000 left on the loan. Luckily the car is in her name, so I'm not responsible for it. I've been making the payments on it for her for the last 6 months. Also, I don't feel too bad like I'm kicking her to the streets since her parents would never let her be homeless. Fast forward to Friday, her sister called me a few times, and I ignored it, but then decided to answer since they were inside my condo. Sister basically told me that Kylie has been crying the whole day and wanted to work things out. I told her it was too far gone for repair. Then today her best friend called me wanting to know if I was able to meet for some drinks, which I thought was odd. Her best friend told me that she has some things to show me, which were causing her to lose sleep. I told her that I would think about it, but honestly I don't care at this point. Finding out about whatever Kylie did behind my back would just cause more pain. When I get back, I'm going to put the condo back on the market because I have no use for it anymore. I honestly have no interest in dating anymore. It's way too difficult for me to see the true intentions in people. Thanks again for all the help and support. This will probably be the end of this post, hopefully. Side note, I had a lot of questions about Kylie running over her friend. I didn't know Kylie when this happened. Kylie originally spent her first semester of college at a private university. Kylie told me she accidentally put the car in drive instead of reverse and ended up hitting the friend. Kylie was super apologetic, and the friend forgave her on the spot. Then the friend's mom found out about her daughter being hit by a car. They did research and learned that Kylie's dad is a big-time CEO of a major corporation and decided to sue her parents. The lawsuit was settled outside of court between Kylie's parents and the friend for $250K. Kylie had to leave the private college after that and join me since her parents wanted her living back at home. I don't think it was intentional on Kylie's part, honestly, but then again, I saw a different side of her for the first time in 7 years of knowing her. Next story. I hired a hot new coworker, and my wife became insanely jealous, and I messed up big time trying to handle it. Here's how a big mistake nearly ended my marriage. My wife and I have been married for 2 years, together for 8. She's never been the jealous type until just recently with this situation. I started a new job about a year ago. It's a management position and requires a lot of recruiting. I've been doing pretty well building a team. I need to in order to advance further, and I'm so close. I make great money doing what I do and have been able to give my wife and me a much better quality of life as a result. Anyway, one of my recent recruits is a young female. She's a great addition to my team. She brings in awesome numbers, is very teachable, and is all around just fun to have in the office. And yes, she's very attractive. But I'm faithful, I love my wife, and I would never do anything inappropriate. My wife hates her. I'm not used to this from her. I've had female friends and colleagues in the past, attractive ones too. It's never been a problem. But this girl. Wow. We've been fighting constantly now. Part of team building and keeping your team engaged is being social with them. This is encouraged by the higher-ups, who even cover the cost of nights out to hang out with your team in an informal setting. We encourage team members to bring their spouses too. Well, about 3 weeks ago, we were supposed to have one of these nights. But we had 2 road trips going on, so most of my team was out of town. I only had the new girl and another new guy in town, and the new guy bailed. Normally, my wife would come, but she was working. So it ended up just being my new recruit and myself, eating wings and having some drinks. My wife called to say she was off and could come join. But I decided that since everyone was gone, maybe she should sit this one out because my new recruit was really new, and I didn't want to make her feel like a third wheel. My wife didn't like that. To top it off, the new recruit thinks she's being funny and says loudly, "Come back to bed." My wife gets upset, but it's unprofessional for me to fight with her on the phone in front of a new recruit, so I kind of cut her short and said I had to go. My intention was to smooth it over later. I also, by the way, told my new recruit that it wasn't actually funny, and it was also inappropriate. And I'd appreciate her holding herself to a higher professional standard in dealings with people related to our business in the future. Well, my wife wasn't having it when I got home. And eventually, during the argument, I said something like, "She's not even attractive. You have nothing to worry about. Anyway, I only love you." She's still upset but calms down a little. Then the following week, I'm talking to a few people in my office somewhat informally. I basically told my team to get in here for a second to go over something. I only have 2 chairs besides mine in there. So, those are taken. I have 2 people sitting on a low bookshelf in the back, a few leaning against the walls, etc. The new recruit comes in last, looks around, and sits on the edge of my desk, farthest from me. We have our meeting, everyone leaves except the new recruit. She has a question about what I said. Naturally, she turns more towards me as she's talking, whatever. Well, that's the moment my wife walks in with my phone charger and a Starbucks for me. So all she sees is the new recruit sitting on my desk, leaning in towards me, talking to me. I've never seen my wife act like this, but it was embarrassing. She put the stuff down on the nearest surface and just walked out. Well, I'm not going to chase her, that would look bad. So I finish talking to my recruit and then try to call my wife, who won't answer. So, I get home later, and she's in the shower crying. What in the world? I go in the bathroom and pull back the curtain, and she's literally sitting in the tub, knees to her chest, crying in the shower. Why? This is ridiculous. So I get upset and leave. I call a few work buddies and meet at the bar. Well, just my luck, the new recruit shows up with them because 2 of the guys I called were already with her. And she's dressed to the nines. She takes a big group selfie and posts it on Facebook. Well, guess what? Yup, my wife saw. And comments, "Nice to see you having so much fun." Sarcastic. To which my recruit responds, "He's in good hands." And I know that sounds like innuendo, but she swears it's not. I talked to my recruit, and she really meant it as an assurance, like, "Don't worry, he's in good hands," and didn't even think about the fact it could be misunderstood. Anyway, I get home more crying from my wife. She says I'm being willfully ignorant and that it's obvious this girl likes me and is stirring trouble and that I'm refusing to see it, or that I must really think she, my wife, is naive. She asked me if she could look at my phone. Like, are you kidding me? I obviously said no. Then she cried more because she said that obviously means I have something to hide. Especially since I lied about my recruit being attractive. Now for the last 2 days, I've gotten the complete silent treatment. What in the world? I haven't done anything wrong. And my recruit is a good employee. I can't fire her just for my wife. Like, what does she want me to do? No one's done anything wrong. TLDR, my wife is being extremely jealous over nothing. What do I do? Update 1. Okay, guys. It's clear you all think I'm at best the most clueless person alive and at worst some kind of bad guy. First off, I would never be unfaithful, and while yes, I can recognize that she's physically attractive by most standards, I am not personally attracted to her. Especially not after all the drama her very existence has been causing me. Secondly, I'm not a bad husband. We've had 8 wonderful years together and have been through some pretty tough things before and come out stronger than ever. I've just never been in a situation like this before. I'm pretty average looking. In fact, my wife is very attractive, and normally, it would be me with insecurities. But I've never made my insecurities her problem. Thirdly, I'm willing to admit some of you may be right about what's going on. If it's so obvious to so many people, including my wife, I'm not arrogant enough to say you're all wrong and I'm right. I mean, I posted for a reason, after all. Finally, though, I'm still not sure how to proceed. We don't have an HR department as we're still a small office. It's basically my boss, 2 other people at my level, and our teams. Sales, by the way. The way you guys are talking, I'm a little frightened that this could get turned on me if my recruit wants to be vindictive or something. I haven't done anything inappropriate, but I'm higher up in male. And given how I've apparently messed this up, how would my wife react if my recruit tried to allege anything against me for letting her go or something? Update 2. I've been talking to my wife all day since I posted. Been echoing some of your sentiments and apologizing. Trying to be empathetic. She really isn't too interested in anything I have to say, although she is actually speaking to me nonetheless, so I guess that's something. I gave my recruit an assignment that requires her to be mostly out of the office and in the field for the next couple of days under the supervision of someone else. So we shouldn't really have contact for now while this is getting sorted. Going home now. I'd say wish me luck, but I doubt you will. I'll update later. It went about as well as could be expected. I explained that I really didn't get the whole situation before, but I do now. I showed her this thread. I apologized and told her I was willing to do whatever I could to make this right. I reassured her over and over again that I didn't cheat on her. She's not sure she believes me about that or that I truly understand what I've done wrong, but in any case, she's incredibly hurt. After much discussion, tears, and a lot of pleading, from me, this is what she wants from me. Space. She wants me to move out for a while, and she doesn't have a set time for when I can come back. Counseling, both as a couple and individually. She says this incident isn't the first time I've been unable to see things from her point of view and that I've hurt her as a result. She also feels she needs help trusting me again. Like many of you, she thinks, putting it mildly, that the new recruit needs to go far, far away. She wants me to tell the recruit why and wants to be able to listen in somehow. I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. It feels like it crosses some sort of professional line, whether I'm willing or not. Finally, she said she doesn't know what's going to happen with us, even if I do all these things. She cried a lot, which isn't surprising. I feel awful, scared, and really, really foolish. I love my wife. I haven't done a good job of showing it lately, and I realize that now. But I really don't want to lose her. I'll be speaking to my boss tomorrow about how best to handle this, whether letting the recruit go, transferring her, or something else. My wife wants her fired, period. I'll see what I can do. I'm in a motel right now. I spoke to my father, and he pretty much told me I'm an idiot and that I need to do whatever it takes to fix this. My parents are very fond of my wife. Thanks again, everyone. I didn't realize how bad this was. I can only imagine how much worse it could have gotten. Update 3. The new recruit took her firing. Okay. She strongly denied that she ever meant to be inappropriate. She also expressed frustration that it was unfair since other people in the office make jokes too. My boss stepped in at that point to say that others don't make jokes like that and that I had already warned her once about being inappropriate in that way. She denied again that her comment about me being in good hands was anything other than an innocent mistake. My boss once again stepped in and said that as a new employee, she was still under probation and, therefore, he could dismiss her without explanation if he wanted and that he just didn't feel she was a good fit. He then turned to me and asked if I agreed. I said yes, we were in agreement. She just sort of shrugged and said, "Well, I don't know what to say then. Goodbye, I guess." Then, as she collected her things and left, she made a sarcastic remark, implying that in my dreams, she would actually be interested in me. My wife listened to the recording. I don't think it was what she wanted. She seemed disappointed. I think she expected me to really tell the recruit off. And maybe I should have? But my boss was involved, and we were trying to handle this professionally without causing issues in the company. My wife was happy that the recruit was gone but then got kind of distant. I was confused because I thought this was what she wanted. She ended up crying and admitted she was still scared that I'd see the recruit again. Especially with me staying at a motel. Who knows what I'm doing? She said she doesn't know what to think anymore. With me out of the house, she has to trust me, but right now, she doesn't trust me. I told her there was nothing to worry about, not that my reassurance means much right now, and I offered to stay at the house but in the spare room or something. That wasn't good either because she doesn't want me there right now. So I admitted that I really didn't know what to do. She said she doesn't even know what she wants either. I called my parents and asked if I could stay with them for a while. They said yes. My wife seemed to like that idea more too, maybe because I'd be supervised. I tried not to take that personally because I know I've messed up here and just need to take responsibility. While sitting on the couch, watching her cry, she suddenly asked me to hold her. I had tried earlier, but she had pushed me away. This time, I held her. Then we ended up kissing and, well, you can probably guess what happened next. But afterward, I was still sent back out to pack up my things from the motel and head to my parents' house. She said she still loves me, of course, but that she's still hurt, angry, and unsure about things regardless of what happened tonight. Seeing how much pain she's in and how scared I am of losing her, I'm finally realizing just how much I've been failing as a husband, not just in this situation but in general. She's been incredibly patient with me, and I've been making mistake after mistake. I reread my original post, and I'm honestly embarrassed by how selfish I've been.